So there.
So there.
So there.
So there.
Let me know your thoughts.
So there.
So there.
So there.
Let me know your thoughts.
Why do you keep saying let us know your thoughts?
Let me know your thoughts to me is a nice lead-in for So there. So there. Welcome to episode 60 of So There. I'm Tom Karamitis.
And I'm Gary Doyle.
And here we are. Here we are in the span of the weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas, when you have loads of obligations and not much time to do them. You and I have to get the cabin ready for our annual Christmas episode up in northern Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm packing for that. I'm packing some long underwear and some hand warmers.
You packing some heat too? The wildlife up there?
Well, yeah, for intruders as well. Yeah, I'm getting ready. Have we hired the cleaning service, Tom?
They were apparently they chose not to come back this year because of all the vermin they discovered last year. They said you should get an exterminator in first, and then we'll come in and sweep up. So,
yeah. But I think it's stocked with food, and there's lots of meat in the freezer. So yeah, looking forward to that.
So stay tuned. We'll probably head up there right after Christmas and do the cabin episode sometime between Christmas and New Year's Day.
Yeah, it's always a fun road trip, stopping at a gas station, getting some beef jerky, some Wisconsin beer.
And bringing some Wisconsin cheese over the border, too.
Yes. So there. Yes, Tom, as you said, we're segueing from Thanksgiving to Christmas. That means a lot of things. It means that the people with inflatable yard decorations have segued from Halloween decorations, sometimes right to Thanksgiving decorations like an inflatable turkey, and now they've segued to inflatable Santas in their front yard. So I find that the same people that have the inflatable decorations in their yard for one holiday will transition to inflatable decorations for the next holiday. They tend to be consistent in that way.
The inflation people. They embrace inflation.
Do you fear them? I do.
I fear inflation. I don't fear the inflating people, though.
I take secret joy when the inflatables deflate, like they malfunction, and there's like a Santa, a Mylar Santa thing that's sort of draped across the front yard because the fan to inflate it has failed. I give silent thanks to the Lord above.
The dilemma is you could put your stuff up early in good weather, or you can wait until you're close to the holidays and endure, your hands freezing when it's 38 degrees, which is kind of that's the situation I'm in, probably going out today to put up my one obligatory light.
Right. These are the things the inflation people wrestle with. But also, as we segue from Thanksgiving to Christmas, I've taken note of the holiday ads that have started to appear. I'm sure you have some favorites and some not favorites. I've the cell phone providers make so many holiday ads. It's just unbelievable. I think they take the lead in terms of all the holiday ads. I quite liked one. I quite liked one I didn't. I quite liked. There was one for Amazon where old ladies watched young children sledding and then ordered a sled on Amazon and then enjoyed the sled. It sounds trite, but I thought it was very well done. And one other commercial I'll mention, Tom. I don't know if you've seen this, and our listeners should really check it out. There's a wonderful, and I'm not joking, Chevy ad, a 5-minute Chevy ad about an Alzheimer's patient and the family's visiting her for Christmas. It is spectacular. I'm going to do a little shout out to my good friend James Gartner. Looks like it could have been shot by James Gartner. Just beautifully shot, great storytelling. You, as a producer, ex-producer, would appreciate it. So that's a wonderful spot. And then finally, I'll just end on, I don't know if you've seen the Menards spot, Tom. The Menards holiday spot that they run. So Menards, as you know, at the end of all their commercials, they'll have a little save big money at Menards, right? But for the holidays, they'll do their usual retail ad, but then at the end, the jingle will come in and they'll say, "More season's greatest, all you have Menards." And I've heard it 100 times, and I still can't quite understand what they're singing. It sounds like it was recorded in somebody's broom closet. And it's like, "Oh, season's greatest, all you have Menards."
It's really just the first word or two that I can't figure out, because I get the season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Yeah, I think it's more season's greetings, but that doesn't really make any sense. I don't know. But you've heard this, right?
Oh, yeah. But yeah, and you know what? It's interesting you bring that up, because in an odd way, I find that I never get tired of it. It's just, it's quick. It's nice. It's Menards, so it tends to be, a commercial for, ratchets and things. The holiday ratchet you want to get your dad.
I'm just kind of oddly fascinated by the sound quality. It sounds like it was recorded on a cassette recorder. Like the singers gathered around an old Panasonic cassette recorder that using cassette tapes and recorded it into that. And they're years ago, and they're just like, well, we'll just keep using it. It's fine.
Yeah. Years ago, they were in Ed Menard's living room by his fireplace with a cassette recorder. That's probably what happened.
Remember the old Menards guy, kind of the fat white guy?
Menards, yeah.
Like, Menards. He had the glasses like from, Walmart. And
for those of you who are not Midwesterners, Menards is a regional hardware chain, big in the Midwest.
That's right. We have listeners in Hong Kong.
Yes, there is no Menards in Hong Kong as far as I know. The first commercial you mentioned, which does a lovely little arrangement of the Beatles song "In My Life," right?
Yes.
I know you and I kind of briefly touched upon this in one of our voicemail exchanges. I just have problems as I get to be an older person. I guess I just have problems with the way advertisers advertise to older people. And they make them seem kind of stupid and ridiculous trying to do young people thing, and they make fun of them, wearing like those workout suits and stuff and doing water aerobics, or they default to aren't old people cute? They're cute like the way a toddler is cute, and I am totally outnumbered, because I've seen on social media the commercial you mentioned. Everyone loves it. Except Tom Karamitis. I just find it's a little bit infantilizing to me. It's a little bit, old people trying to do fun young people thing. Aren't they cute for trying so hard?
But they are cute, aren't they? Those cute little old people. Little old people, LIL apostrophe. Cute little old people. I hear you. I hear you. I get it. I'm not disagreeing. I get it. You're right. And yet it's a well done ad.
The other one I haven't seen yet. You mentioned a 5-minute spot for Chevy that looked like it was maybe directed by our good friend and incredible director Jim Gartner.
It wasn't. I checked with him. No.
Does Jim listen to our podcast?
No. Yeah, I think he actively avoids it.
Maybe if we tell him his name was all over this episode, you could shoot him an email and he'll be intrigued.
Yeah, I think he'll be intrigued, but still probably won't listen. But yeah, it's lovely. Just check it out. You can find it by Googling like Chevy Alzheimer's commercial. I'm sure it's lovely.
It's a 5-minute spot. So where do they run it?
Yeah, and usually, probably just online. And usually I struggle with long spots. It's like my ADD kicks in, and I'll look at the little scrubber at the bottom, and it'll say 2-minute, 20-second spot. I'm like, oh God, I don't want to bother. But this one, believe it or not, is well worth your time.
All right.
Could have been directed by the master director, James Gartner.
James Gartner, one of the few directors who is and was incredibly talented and an incredibly nice guy.
Yes. Yes.
I'll go out on a limb here and say many of the directors I've worked with are supremely talented, but probably wouldn't be on my Christmas card list.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Did you ever work with a guy named Carl Eric Rinch? You ever hear of him?
No.
Okay. Yeah, he's a commercial director. I've bid him on a couple jobs, but there was an article about how Netflix gave him $50 million for a series, and he went and spent it on Rolls Royces and drugs and second homes, and yeah, it's kind
of like what's his name, Santos.
Santos, yeah. Yeah, but you're right. I not a lot of directors are on my Christmas card list. James Gartner would be one of them. Jeff Gorman would not be. Jeff Gorman, who famously said, at one time, very big time comedy director, at one point said to Tom Karamitis on a shoot about Gary Doyle, "Get your writer away from me."
Yeah. I remember that well. Yes.
So there.
I've got a couple of advertising cliches that I've noticed lately. They're not really holiday based, but I wanted to see if you've noticed them. One of them is a visual cliche, and one of them is an audio cliche. The visual cliche is I've noticed a number of commercials lately. It seems like advertising creatives and probably art directors in particular have become especially enamored with the idea of the backyard movie screening thing, where you set up a screen in your backyard. This is, again, kind of like in the old days, one of the cliches I used to talk about was in commercials you'd see people frolicking in a fountain, which, in their clothes, which would never happen in real life. And this to me is another thing. I've never been to or seen anyone actually setting up a backyard movie screening thing where they hang a screen between two branches, and then they, are you familiar with this phenomenon?
Yeah, occasionally people will do that in Lake Bluff.
Okay, so it's an actual thing.
It's not a common thing, but I can see how it would be an advertising trope. It's kind of fun, and it looks cinematic and looks pretty, and directors would like to shoot that.
I suppose, yeah. The other one is the advertisers. Some advertisers have taken a phrase that started out in the music industry, and that is using the word drop to indicate when something is released or something starts, like where some artist is dropping their new single on April 5th. And now I'm noticing that, especially on some of the ads I'm served on social media, I'm getting, Costco's holiday sale is just dropped. I've just noticed this kind of affect lately of using the word dropped that way. Have you noticed this?
I don't want to insult you, Tom, but the phrase dropped has been around for a while.
In the music industry, I know.
Yes, it's been around. Oh, I thought you meant you just heard it. Yeah, it's been around. Yeah, I get your annoyance when I would get your annoyance when an advertiser should stay away from that. You know what I mean? They should just leave it to the music industry. I agree with you. It's kind of like I don't like the cultural appropriation of white people adopting phrases that came from the African American community, like shout out to, right? That started off, and now, people up in Lake Bluff will say that about their cleaning service. Shout out to M&M Cleaners. It's like, just don't.
Shout out to Jim Gartner for some great directing.
You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
It bothers me a little bit. It's like, no, just don't. So there. This is not a holiday observation, Tom, but it is an observation, and that is the notion of Facebook as a barometer of your standing in the world. You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever noticed that prominent people, like let's say an advertising luminary, won't name names, but let's just say a chief creative officer of a large agency, someone that is powerful in the business, and a lot of people would want to flatter or whatnot. This person can post like a picture of her grandmother knitting, and it'll get 682 likes. And it'll be, oh my gosh, Pam, that is just incredible. Your grandmother looks fantastic. But then if that same person was like me posting, or let's say if that same person retired from advertising and like was a retiree and posted the same picture, they'd get like 19 likes. So I've noticed it's just kind of a barometer of your social standing. It kind of shows you. So when you post something and it gets like 14 likes, it's like you're not the person you used to be. But when you're powerful, you can post anything. You'll get 1,012 likes.
Oh, yeah. It's quite sycophantic.
That's what it is. Yeah. I'm going to like anything this person posts.
Because I want to stay aligned with this person, because potentially this person can do something good for me in my career at some point.
They might see my like and think, oh,
I should hire him.
Gary Doyle, I seem to remember he's a good writer. Maybe I'll hire him for a high-paying job. That's the thought process. It goes... Maybe she will notice me, remember me, and hire me.
So there.
Whoa, we did it at the same time. That's never happened before.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle, except in the beginning of the show, that's never been in sync. It's incredible. Whoa.
It's a phenomenon I've long been aware of in Chicago. Came to light again, and that is how Chicago, for being a huge market, a huge city, one of the three biggest markets in the country, seems to have put undue idolatry on their athletes compared to other types of celebrities. And I remember when I got out of college and decided to stay in Chicago, people used to tell me that Chicago doesn't really have movie stars. Chicago doesn't shoot a lot of TV shows. So their quote unquote celebrities are really their athletes, and to a lesser extent maybe their news personalities, but that's really all they have, as opposed to New York and LA that might have more kinds of celebrities. And this came to mind recently when I heard all the uproar over this hockey player named Connor Bedard. Now, I am not a hockey fan in the least, but
it's not a major sport, so don't worry about that.
It is not a major sport, but the people who are into it are truly into it, and I feel like, I don't know about you, but for several weeks, Connor Bedard, and even everything Connor Bedard, who's all of 18 years old, by the way, everything Connor Bedard did was covered on the news, and even promoting tonight, we have an interview with Connor Bedard's dad. So I guess he's a phenom, right? He's a young hockey phenom.
He's a hockey phenom, yes. He's a number one draft pick in the last draft. He's supposed to be great, and we will be great. And, but I like how you say his name. It's almost like the D should be silent at the end. Connor Bedard.
I mean, I feel like, would Connor Bedard be as big a celebrity in New York or LA as he is here? Would they be cutting into the news a sighting of Connor Bedard at the 7-Eleven? Live footage at 10.
I don't know. I'm going to push back on you on that a little bit. I think Chicago. Whoa. That should be another stinger. Whoa. Boy, we're going to get John Binder going after this, aren't we?
It's our Christmas present to John.
Keeping him busy. No, I was going to push back a little bit and say I think Chicago is a great sports town, like New York, like Boston, and I think therefore maybe that's why they idolize. I do agree they idolize athletes more than perhaps other towns, but that's because it's a hardcore sports town. I thought you were going to say Chicago tends to oddly idolize weathermen.
Why? Because we have the dean of all weathermen in Chicago?
I just think this town, like not just Tom Skilling, but this town, we're really into our weather, and we're into our weathermen. Jerry Taft, Tom Skilling,
and the greatest name in a current weatherman, Pete Sack.
Is that a weatherman? Pete Sack?
He's on NBC5, Pete Sack. And he was on the same for a while before the other main anchor retired. Pete Sack was on the same broadcast as Dick Johnson. Think of that for a while.
And if Dick married Peter, his name would be Dick Sack.
There was a pitcher on the Boston Red Sox years ago named Dick Pole. Maybe you remember him.
I remember Dick Pole. I remember Cole Trickle. Oh, no, not Cole Trickle. Dick Trickle. Remember Dick Trickle, the stock car?
Sure.
It'd be funny if his middle name was DeBrickashaw. Dick DeBrickashaw Trickle. So there.
So I know we've touched upon health club stuff on and off over the years, and it's probably more of a pet peeve of mine than yours, because I think I tend to work out much more than Gary Doyle, just from the looks of our relative physiques these days.
Oh yeah, you look great.
Thank you. So I've identified kind of like Dante's Inferno, whatever it was, Dante's Inferno?
Dante's Inferno.
Right, the levels of hell. And I kind of came across the 4 relative levels of hell. These are people that the people you might get behind in waiting for a piece of equipment to free up, right? And it's going to go from what I consider the most benign to the most malignant, okay? The most benign being level 1 would be generally, I find women are okay to be behind, because they're generally quick. They come on, they do a quick set or two, and they're on their way, right? That's level 1. That's not a problem. Now it starts to kind of get worse. Level 2 would be any man, okay? Because I find not only do men tend to linger on the piece of equipment.
Oh yeah.
But they tend to, oddly, I find men seem to get absorbed into their phones and their social media while exercising more than women.
Yes.
All right?
Yes. 100%.
Right. Okay. So now we're moving on to level 3, and now it's getting bad. Okay, now I'm thinking...
Is this DEFCON 3?
Yeah, we're going DEFCON 3, and that would be a man with a duffel bag, all right? Anytime you're working out behind a man with a duffel bag, first of all, what the hell is in that thing, right? And whatever it is, whatever's in there, it tends to slow them down. They are just there. They're camping out, right? That's their thing. Finally, DEFCON 4. Now would be groups of 2 or more men, 2 or 3 men, say. This is the worst because there's a lot of banter. There's a lot of posturing. They tend to camp out on a piece of equipment. They tend to take turns on it. They've set up their base camp at the bicep machine or whatever machine they decided to be at for the rest of the evening. You might as well put off that part of your workout for today. Those are my 4 levels.
I can identify with DEFCON 2 especially. Gary Doyle, when I go to the gym and I mix a little cardio with little abdominals and a little weight training. I only do like 4 or 5 different machines, let's say. And in the gym I go to, there's like 100 different machines. So I don't do very many. But let's say I'll need one. And I'm going to do it, and I experienced DEFCON 2. Guy will do a set, stand there, finish the set, look at the mirror, check himself out, then look at his phone, fiddle with his phone, and I'm just standing there, and he looks at himself again in the mirror. So it takes like 5 minutes between sets. And then he'll do another one, and look at his phone, and look at himself. Yeah, that is super annoying.
And that same guy will go home and tell his wife or his girlfriend, oh yeah, it was 2.5 hours at the gym today, but he actually only did about 15 minutes of exercising.
It's like football. It's like a 2.5 hour game and like 18 minutes of actual action. Yeah.
Or baseball, which is a 3-hour game and 16 seconds of actual action.
Right. You left off, DEFCON 5 for
Whoa.
me at the gym are the clangers, right? The people that either drop, they'll work on the machine, and instead of setting it down gently when they're done, right, whatever the weight is, whatever the exercise is, it's like kaboom, clang. They drop it, so they let the whole gym know they just finished, bench pressing 140 pounds or whatever. Oh, that drives me crazy. Or the ones that drop the weights on the ground, like they'll
free
do the
weights.
weight, yeah, and they'll just drop it instead of setting it down. Kaboom! And the machine thing especially drives me nuts because I'll be working out on something next to a guy, and I can tell he's a clanger, and I'm like, here it comes, and I'm kind of like bracing myself for it, because it's jarring, and I'm bracing myself for it, and then clang! He feels a need to drop it instead of just setting it down. When I say setting it down, I'm talking about the whatever they call them, the nollis. Oh, that drives me crazy. It's unnecessary, even when they put it's not a lot of weight. Like let's say it's 70 pounds on a bicep machine. Kaboom! Drop it.
I would much rather though be behind that guy who clangs than a guy who just sits there.
Well, sure.
Swiping his phone, because to me it's all about I want to get in and out of there in an hour,
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are people who I find the people who are there swiping at their phones, sitting there using the piece of equipment as a lounge chair between their sets.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, but what bugs me though is that, as you pointed out, you can sit there and stare at them. They're not going any faster. They're making believe you're invisible. They don't even acknowledge, at least with me, I find they don't even acknowledge me. I'll stand there with my arms crossed.
Brooding,
a little bit.
Well, bet.
I'd rather have a quick clanker than a slow swiper. I really would.
You mentioned another DEF CON, and those are the people that leave their towel on the chair or on the bench when they're not using it.
Excellent
and finally,
point.
you go over there and you go, "Are you using this? Is this yours?" Oh yeah. Sorry. Well, that towel's been sitting there for 20 minutes. Maybe somebody might want to. Yeah, the gym is a hotbed of irritating people.
You undercovered though. That's a huge thing that I forgot to mention. Thank you for bringing that up. That is the person who does what they call power sets, right? They alternate between two pieces of equipment, and they want to keep both pieces of equipment tied up. So you can't use either one. And God forbid you move on. If the towel's there, you push their towel aside, you do a quick set, boy, they're going to come up to you and all of their testosterone-fueled rage, and they're going to set you straight, mister. And God forbid their girlfriend is there with them. I wouldn't want to be you. I'm going to kill you in front of my girlfriend.
I'm going to kill you in front of my girlfriend, so there. Tom, we get a lot of mail.
Well, we don't, but...
Okay, we don't. We don't. But we got a letter to So There from a devoted listener named Ellie. And the subject header is Why I Listen to So There. Would you like to hear the reasons?
I'm going to take notes.
All right. An incomplete list. Number one, because listening to Gary and Tom, I like how she put me first, by the way, because listening to Gary and Tom giggling together is wholesome fun. Two, because hearing cringe-inducing advertising slogans makes me feel like I am a superior writer. You probably are. Three, because I currently live outside the U.S. and I want to up the pod's international listenership. Yes, I believe she is in Oaxaca, Mexico now, Tom. So check the
analytics for Oaxaca.
The analytics. 4, because I love to one-up Tom Karamitis with jabs at his plane behavior. Whoa.
Plane behavior? What plane behavior?
I don't know. This is a few episodes back. I think some plane complaint you had, or maybe I think you're a chair recliner. You're one of those.
No,
people.
I'm not a chair recliner.
I think you are.
I do not like chair recliners. Maybe that's what it was.
You said that like Dr. Seuss. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like chair recliners, Sam I am. Number 5, because writing viewer mail makes me feel like I'm participating in democracy. Whoa. 6, because I receive nuggets of wisdom I can tuck away for rainy days. 7, because I like to imagine the So There holiday cabin is a real place.
It is a real place. I promise.
8, because Gary and Tom's gripes about human behavior makes me feel validated in my own annoyances. That's why we do it, Ellie. 9, because the pod titles make me laugh. Thank you. The creative director writes those.
Gary Doyle does write all the titles.
Tom approves them, sometimes has suggestions. Number 10.
Gary never listens to any of my suggestions, but
I occasionally implement them. They tend to be sophomoric. They tend to be a little juvenile.
ouch.
Number 10, because I like to tell other people about it, and then if they've never heard of it, say, really? It's the Seinfeld of podcasts.
My sense here, didn't interrupt you for a second, is that Ellie is probably responsible for about a third of our listenership worldwide.
I think so. And all the different countries she travels to makes our analytics seem more impressive. It's actually one person going different places. Thank you, Ellie, for your thoughtful note. And if anybody else would like to write in, send your emails to sothere@yahoo.com.
I'm amazed that Ellie came up with 10 things she likes about our podcast. Now, I will say here right now, I put Ellie in the pantheon of perhaps the greatest letter writer we've had. I mean, Alan Spindle is superb as well, but just the amount of thought that went into this is it's humbling. You know, I feel like I just won an Academy Award and I don't know what to say.
We haven't heard from Alan Spindle in a while. Alan,
are you there?
Listening?
Alan?
So there at yahoo.com.
You know, it would be a great Christmas present for Tom Karamitis and Gary Doyle this year. Send us, if you listen to the podcast, send us a little note. Send us a note at sothere@yahoo.com, and maybe what we'll do is we'll read some of them when we're up at the Christmas cabin in Minnesota for the next podcast. We have nothing to do except throw logs on the fire and read viewer mail.
That is a great idea, Tom. No purchase necessary. Contest
for now.
Contest ends December 26th, 2024. Void where prohibited.
Sale ends Saturday. Pipes, clamps, and welded parts are extra. See store for warranty details.
So there. Well, Tom, I could talk forever, and I'm sure you could too, but we have to start packing our bags for the So There cabin in the North Woods of Minnesota. So for Tom Karamitis, this is Gary Doyle saying,
So there.